Welcome to Live, Let, Thrive, a podcast about the Airbnb life, the share economy, and everything in between. Here are your hosts, Micah and Steve.
Hello.
And welcome back to another exciting episode
Of Live,
Let
Thrive. What is up, Micah, man?
I'm chilling, Stevie Stacks. How you doing?
Doing great, man. It's getting cold weather, bundled up. Yeah, I like it. I dig it. We got a special guest. This is episode 140 of your favorite Airbnb VRBO real estate podcast. And we're coming at you with a special guest, very special guest. You heard her on Bigger Pockets, and now she's on Live, Let, Thrive. And her name is Shelby Osborne.
Hey
what
guys.
up, Shelby?
Y'all are wild. I love it.
We're a little bit wild. You seem like you're wound up, so this is gonna be a fun show. I got some coffee, so we're gonna just
Perfect.
have a good
Bring it
time. Yeah. So
let's hop to it. So, Steve, did you have an intro for Shelby or?
She's
I just said you're on.
It's all good.
let me introduce it. So she acquired 51 doors, right?
Yes.
And do you acquired them all through the BRRRR strategy?
No, not all of them. I've done any way that I can get my hands on them. So.
Hopefully by any means. So she has 51 doors. She does Airbnb, and she is here on the show straight out of North Carolina. So Shelby, let us know, how did you get started and how did you get up to 51 doors?
Sure. Yeah. So I got started when I got out of the military. I was in the Army for 6 years. And after being in the Army, great experience, no regrets at all. But it becomes super frustrating, and I got really tired of dealing with like the typical issues that military members face. So like lack of common sense and disregard for like people's lives. So I was like, hey, I don't want to do this for the next, 15 years. I could see my future all the way to the end. And I was like, nah, I'm good. So I started listening to podcasts, reading books, trying to figure out what was a better route for me, and stumbled upon, Bigger Pockets and Robert Kiyosaki and all of the things that normal people do when they get into real estate. And I was like, I can do that. Yeah, I'll do that. So got out of the Army and got my real estate license actually before I got out. I got it at night school and bought my first intentional investment property in November of 2017. And got out of the military in January 2018. And my first year I had 16 doors by the end of it and was Keller Williams Rookie of the Year as an agent. So balls to the wall on both sides. Just kept going. Was that the question?
that's great. How did you get 16 doors in 1 year?
Okay. So my very first one ever was a primary residence purchase back in 2013. So I had a primary residence that was not an investment property. So that was one. And then in November of 2017, I bought a duplex. So all about the multis, especially, it just makes so much sense if you buy one property and you get multiple doors. It's just, logical. So did a duplex there. And then I used my VA loan because primary residence loans are the bomb, and I got 4 more doors on my quad. And then at that point, this was March of 2018, and I stopped getting my W-2 paychecks from the Army, and I went to a bank and was like, hey, can I get a loan? And they're like, nah. Because as a real estate agent, it's commission-based, and they're like, you have no proof that you can survive. So I started getting into private money, and private money has been really good to me, and really fortunate about my sphere of influence and my sphere of influence's sphere of influence, who trust me enough to use their money for deals. And then I use the BRRRR strategy. So I could just raise X amount of private money and then recycle it. So that's what I did for my next single family duplex and the 6-unit apartment complex. And that was the end. And I hope that 16, or else my math is bad. And that's it for the first year.
So how did you get into private money?
Well, when the banks told me they wouldn't give me any more loans, I was like, well, I have to do it somehow. Mm-hmm. So in hard money, the rates are just gross. And granted, I use hard money still often. But private money is amazing, especially like it can be a win-win for people, especially if they have their money just sitting in a bank and it's very slowly, like the interest rate accrues is so little compared to, something that you could offer that is a great deal compared to hard money, but a great deal for them as well. So it's really just a win-win.
Wow. Like, I guess the question would be, how did you private lenders?
So that's what I meant by sphere of influence. So okay, so I won't shut up about things that I'm passionate about, and really fortunate that my family has friends and friends of friends who have money saved from their entire lives, older people, and they like me enough. And then it's great because from there they tell other people, and that has what's gotten more and more private money in my world, is just by doing what you're supposed to do, being trustworthy, and doing the right things, and the word is passed along. So
damn good reputation. I like it. So out of your 51 doors, how many of those are Airbnbs?
I knew you were going to ask that. That's like the only thing I prepped inside. 18 of the doors are Airbnbs, but 4 of which I don't own. I have 4 Airbnb arbitrages. So I have 14 and then plus the 4.
Okay. So 18 doors Airbnb out. And then
one of them is a work in progress. Let me even look at my mouth. So I recently acquired an 8-unit. This is super cool. I'll tell you why not. It's a giant historic mansion in the oldest district in Fayetteville. I'm in Fayetteville, North Carolina, which is like outside of Fort Bragg. But it is the oldest house in the oldest district. So we literally it's me and 2 partners. We just got this 8-unit and we're completely renovating it. So it was a mansion and they chopped it up into different units, and we're making it the whole thing Airbnbs. But the reason why I stopped you is because they're not functioning yet. We're still in the rehab process.
Okay. So what?
Stop me if I talk in circles.
This is valuable information. So so how do you manage all your Airbnbs? Do you have a property management company and who are you?
So, locally we used someone who we're switching off of right now. Not happy. However, at the end of the day, much better than managing it myself. Holy crap. And we're switching over to Plushie. Have you guys heard of Plushie?
No, that's a new one for me.
So I'm not sure. We have a lot of interns in my company now, and I just task them with Googling, figure out, what's the best, and set up some interviews. So we liked Plushie based on the interview, and now I have 2 Airbnbs with them, but they're very recent switches. So I'm monitoring. We'll see how it goes.
So Plushie, are they just in North Carolina, or are they kind of everywhere?
That's the reason why I like them. It's that they will do anywhere. They're nationwide, from my understanding. And the reason why I did it is because I'm moving to Charlotte in a month and a half, and I wanted a manager who can do all my properties regardless of where I'm at, especially because, long term, I want to get properties in all the places that I want to visit. Okay. So I would rather have one manager who I could talk to about everything instead of a local guy here, and all that stuff.
And what's oh, my bad, Steve, I'm taking over.
That's all right, good.
What's Plushie's percentage they charging?
So different tiers. The tier I chose is the most hands-off for me, and it's 20%.
Oh, 20% for hands-off. I'm with it. Okay.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
Our local guy here was 25%, but then we negotiated. But
nice.
So I guess one thing that you kind of said real quickly was yeah, they're not doing the best job, but it's better than me doing it. And I kind of that's a powerful statement. And it's something I wrestle with right now because I'm having someone do one of my Airbnbs right now. I've always managed them myself, but the company's doing actually 2 Airbnbs for me. And they got up to a pretty rough start. And so I was like, I want to insert myself. I want to start, messing around with it. Hey, how can we get these numbers up, this and that? But then, also, like the way you said it, I'd rather have someone doing not the best job than me having to do it. So that's why do you feel that way?
Oh my gosh, if I had guests texting me, I would freaking lose it because I'm already a real estate broker. I'm kind of moving out of that though, the actual dealing with clients type of thing. But clients are, no offense, real estate investors, annoying as shit. And anyone listening, whatever, So people constantly calling for that. And I already have so many other projects going on, like acquisition stages, rehab stages. If I had to do one more freaking thing, there's no way. And I'm all about leveraging out my weaknesses or the things that I don't enjoy so I can double down on my strengths. So it's worth it to me.
And I guess okay, because are you managing your own rehabs or no?
Yes, technically, but not really. So we have really good relationships with the few contractors who we use here in Fayetteville, and the general contractor is the one who's managing their own project, and then we call them Flip Fridays, where me and one of my partners get in the car and just drive around to all the properties and check in and stuff like that. So it's not a hardcore manage. It's more fun, so we get to go and check out the progress, if that makes sense.
Oh, that's cool. And one cool thing that you mentioned there on Bigger Pockets was that you like to go knock on doors that have for rent signs out front. And why do you like that so much?
Yeah, because if they have a crappy for rent, like handwritten sign from Lowe's in their yard, I know that they're not a system. They could be great, maybe, but there's a strong chance that maybe they hate being a landlord. They fell into it and they would love for someone to take it away from them, off their hands. It's a win-win again, all about the win-win,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Worth the call for sure.
That's cool. How many have you landed by doing that?
The 6-unit apartment complex and a duplex. So 2.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, and so how did you get into the Airbnb part instead of just long-term renting everything?
It's actually one of my agents, Daniel Kidd. He's pretty awesome. He would be a good person to have on this as well. But he did it first, kind of in our little posse. He had a quadplex and he rented 3 of them long-term and 1 of them short-term. And the short-term just crushed. It's, especially when it's 3 and then 1, you can directly compare the revenue that each is generating. And it just was above and beyond. And he was very excited about it. So told us, and we're screw it. Let's freaking do it. Why not? And it's performed amazingly. So.
Oh, wow.
But with the quads, just be wary. I don't know if any of you guys plan on buying multi and renting 1 unit out as an Airbnb. His tenants do not like it. This is just a warning. His long-term tenants are not appreciative of the one that is a short-term. So just food for thought.
And how do you I guess work with them on that? The ones that don't like it.
I don't think. He's just been sorry. And then asking the property manager.
Hire and move on.
Yeah. So nothing significant.
So, and you have long-term rentals, right? And your long-term rentals, I'm pretty sure you have that all property management.
Oh. I did manage up to the first 16. And that has really helped me as well with not only my clients, because if you guys listen to the Bigger Pockets thing, I'm crazy about checklists and systems. So by doing it myself, I have a really quick how to self-manage your rental properties checklist, and different attachments that are helpful. And I just save it as a draft. So anytime a client or anytime one of my agents who also invests asks, I just send. So being able to do things myself and creating the system before passing it off is helpful.
Like this.
Nice. So you were in the military.
Yes.
And so thank you for your service, first of all.
Thanks for your support.
Yeah. You're very animated. You're were you a cheerleader when you were younger? Were you
No, I was a gymnast. So.
Oh, well, there you go. You just all over the.
Yes.
So how has the military mindset helped you in your real estate investing journey?
So much, actually. Resilience for sure. Just in the real estate investing is not easy. The Army's not easy. So, it can be, but that's a whole other story. But so it's just about you have to find a way to make it happen. You have to find a way to win. So when I couldn't get a loan, not gonna stop progress. You have to figure out how to do it. You hear no all the time, and all you have to do is just keep finding the people to ask until you get a yes. I hate 3-foot walls is what I called them in the Army. It's people will, if you imagine coming up to a 3-foot wall, to be oh, I can't cross it. There's a wall in front of me. No, just hop over it, go around it. There's plenty of options. So that kind of mindset.
It's crazy. All of our military people that come in here, they're killing it, straight crushing it. Adam, Shelby, Alvin, Man, I might need to join the service for about a year and get that mindset now. But
there you go.
Yeah, but I like that. I like that y'all have that by any means necessary mentality. So
Totally.
So okay, so your rehabs. How many rehabs do you have going on at a time? Like right now, how many rehabs you got going on?
Dude, right now it's nuts. Actually, we just finished 2, so that's good. The biggest one is that 8 unit that we bought that we're turning into a 9. That's a huge rehab project. And then we have a flip that's going on too. So if you count properties, that's 2, but if you count doors, that's 10.
How do you find and manage good contractors?
So hard. It's like the hardest part. It's for me right now, it's relationships based. Like I choose the contractor who I have really good communication with over the one who maybe looks more polished and, sells me a lot of shit, because at the end of the day, this is actually just happened with my 8 unit. I have a really good relationship with this contractor. I know I hope he never listens to this. He's a little bit all over the place, but really, really good dude. And I walked a unit that he said was done, and I literally took pictures of everything. He wasn't there, and I was like, this is not done. I don't know what you think done is. No. And the cool part is he's like, well, we banter, of course. We yell a little bit. And then at the end, he's like, no, you're right. I'll fix it. And so that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the one who's like, dude, you're right. I wouldn't want to live here. I'm going to fucking fix it. You know what I mean? So that makes sense.
Oh,
relationships,
yeah, big time.
Over anything.
And communication, big time.
Yeah.
So I have a question. So your ones where you're rehabbing and turning it into an Airbnb.
Yes.
How long does that rehab take? From rehab and then getting it all the way pushed on Airbnb. I want to know, because I had one just done, and I want to see how long your timeline is.
Totally depends. Okay, so it depends. It depends on the amount of rehab. Mm-hmm. The 989, I don't know what to call it, unit is a disaster because it was built in 1835. So that's not even a good example for how long properties should take. But the 2 that we just finished, one was a 3. They're both 3.2s actually, and one was almost a full gut, and the other one was not as much. It took about 6 weeks for the full gut one for the rehab, which I think, it's hard because there's so many projects. I guess that's acceptable. I would rather it be 4. And then from there, my Airbnb, which I don't do the design, I don't do any of these things personally anymore because it drives me nuts. So my design chick, we have her lined up. We're actually all in a WhatsApp group chat together, so the communication stays really on key. And so she was ready. She had all of her stuff already in the garage ready to be put in the house. And she took about a week. And then Plushie is so quick. Plushie was 72 hours which is amazing, I think, because our guy here required 2 weeks, the guy on ground, and $2,000 startup fee. And Plushie's not like that at all, which is cool.
$2,000 sign-up fee. Wow.
Dude.
We're in the wrong business.
I love that process though. You boom, boom. This person comes in as soon as the rehab's done, get it up. I love that. I love your process. That's what's up. Because it took
the designer makes it.
Yeah.
What's that?
I said the rehab took me 6 weeks.
Yeah.
It took us damn near 3 weeks to get on Airbnb due to lack of systems, we shall say.
Yeah.
And here's what I heard something you say, WhatsApp. I love WhatsApp. Mm-hmm. And what's cool about starting a team on there is that let's say you have VAs that are helping out with a situation, because a lot of them, everybody in the world uses WhatsApp, and people fixing up the house. Let's say some Mexicans, Hispanics, they're all on WhatsApp too. So my people, man. I'm just saying everybody. It's everybody uses WhatsApp. That's a good one because I hear. It depends because these management companies, we're using Wix, we're using this, I'm like, who uses these other apps? WhatsApp is the one. So that's cool that you're using that one.
I love WhatsApp so much because of you can retitle all of your groups as well. So when you have multiple projects, if you, the stager and the contractor are all talking about each project, it gets buried so fast because you're talking about this project and then boom, 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 boom. By the time I check, I'm not going to scroll up and I'm lost. So the way that we do it in WhatsApp is we create a chat and title it the property. So that way you only talk about each property within that chat and everything stays really clean.
I like that. Because I've been using Telegram. I just got on Telegram and it's pretty cool. So WhatsApp, okay. All right.
Yeah, you got to get on WhatsApp, man.
I'm
do you what type of personality do you think you have? Like an ADD type of you're all over the place personality?
I'm very energetic, I would say, but I'm incredibly focused. Like I'm not ADD. Like I freaking lock in. I don't know if you do like Myers-Briggs, but I'm an ENTJ and those are crazy. So.
I'm an INTJ.
Oh, are you? Oh my gosh, I love INTJs. We're supposed to take over the world together.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yep. I'm an INTJ. Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
That's cool. And so I guess you create systems to accentuate what your personality type is, right? I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there.
INTJs and ENTJs historically are like hyper focused on efficiency. So we'll do whatever it takes to be the most efficient. And in my experience, systems are what are most efficient. So that's the reason for me at least.
Okay. Any drawbacks to being an INTJ?
What?
What is it?
He's an INTJ.
I'm INTJ.
INTJ, sorry.
It's all good. I'll send you the link. You can take yours off there.
I will.
Perfect. Drawbacks. Yes, I am insensitive, impatient, like blunt. But I mean, I call it as I see it. So, yeah. But yeah, I mean, those are my shortcomings.
Okay. No, I'm just wondering.
Like,
you keep going and going.
Yeah, I can keep telling you my flaws. I have them written down.
Yeah.
Working on them.
That's cool. But knowing all these things, it helps because you can, set up your business accordingly, right? And you love outsourcing everything that you can outsource, I guess.
And I love my people. I don't like a lot of people but like my crew, like the people in my world, I freaking love. You're laughing at me.
No, it's the truth because I'm kind of the same way. Like I have the circle and then you have, people outside the circle, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Nice. And I have to ask this question. How is it being like a woman in the world of real estate investing?
It doesn't faze me. And people actually ask that a lot. Or like I hear women like, it's so hard being in this industry. And I'm like, I've never felt that. However, I have come from 6 years in the Army where I was the only like woman in my 750 man unit at one point. So, and I grew up with brothers and one brother, and my dad treated me like, he's like, he trained me like, like a little athlete. So I'm not fazed. I don't know. I don't think
it makes sense. Okay. And so on that note, the training note, like I see you're really into fitness, and how has that helped you with your real estate investing?
I think it's just overall like discipline. It's kind of like a holistic, and I'm not perfect by any means. Like I fall off just like everyone else, but overall you have to be a whole person. If you take care of your body, like what's the point of investing in real estate and like getting tons of money to die young because you haven't done anything healthy for yourself your entire life? So yeah, no, I love fitness, and endorphins are so cool.
Oh man, yeah, I love fitness as well. Like my endorphins about to go crazy because I worked out late. But yeah.
and so I guess like I follow people like The Rock, and he's like doing these insane workouts, but he's like doing like 10 movies at the same time and all these different shows, and like but he always finds time for his workouts, and that's like a crucial part of what he does. And so, and I guess you're the same. You always find time, no matter what, to get your workouts in.
Yeah, I feel crappy if I don't, and it's all about building the habit though, because it's people aren't naturally like that, but it's like if you are disciplined in the beginning and build the habit, before you know it, you just do it, and you don't have to force yourself anymore. It's just a thing that you do.
I'm so happy you brought that up. I feel like shit when I don't work out. That's a fact. Like you just feel like shit when you don't work out. Like Mahogany, really, my wife's into fitness. She's like a personal trainer, and she really put that discipline on me, and now it just resonates. So yeah.
Awesome.
Meal preps and everything.
Yeah.
All right, so you do like a meetup over there, like in Fayetteville. You said Fayetteville,
Yes. Fayetteville.
and it's like beer and real estate. What do you call it?
Pints and Properties. Way
Pints,
catchier.
pints and yeah.
I like that.
Come on.
Beer. I love it. Pints
Are
and
y'all
Properties.
virtual right now?
No, we started back up in person. We do stream it though. And yeah, and I have a checklist, of course, which I have prepped in my draft. So if anyone wants to start their own Pints and Properties, 1,000,000% support it. And I'll just send it right out and start your own anywhere. Okay.
Dang, I wanted to hop in on the Fayetteville one. I thought you guys were virtual, but never.
No, well, I mean, we are. So if you follow Five Pillars Realty Group on Facebook, we Zoom it and we stream it to Facebook Live. So you should do it. It's on the second Saturday of every month at 3:30 Eastern time.
3:30 Eastern. Oh, okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool. And
Time for some
so,
pints. Go ahead.
so what is your favorite beer?
I really like Stone IPA.
Oh, I love IPAs.
Or the Elysian Space Dust. I hope I said that right. People are laughing on the other.
I never I never had that one. What kind of beer is that one?
It's another IPA.
Oh, okay. So you're an IPA girl.
I like them, yeah. More
Right.
bang for your buck too with that percentage. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So you
yeah.
get, like, you don't have to drink a bunch. You just drink a couple and you're good to go.
Very hoppy.
That's right.
So what was that? What was the bigger pockets effect like? I mean, were your DMs going crazy?
I haven't gotten through them. It's so bad.
Wow. That's crazy.
I caught up with Instagram, which was great, and Facebook, but Bigger Pockets messages is the one that I have not touched in far too long. And LinkedIn also, I haven't touched that. But I'm going to do it tomorrow morning, doing it.
LinkedIn's filled with spammers.
Yeah, but occasionally there's a couple good ones in there. But I agree. 98% spam.
Spammers.
Yeah.
So what is your major source of like networking? Use like from the social medias, Facebook, Instagram, or whatever.
For networking, as in like attracting people to meetups, or how, or like clients, or what?
I guess
Yeah.
Deals. Okay.
For starters.
Deals is a couple things. So we love our wholesalers, actually. A lot of people don't like wholesalers, but we have a couple who like we've kind of trained in what we're looking for, and it's great because they get off-market deals. And our MLS is pretty saturated right now. Like it's hard to get a property without highest and best, and then you're overbidding, and it's crazy. So wholesalers, which we bring them in, to our meetups, and we love on them, and come do whatever you want with us, be our friend. And the other thing is courthouse properties. And I talked about this on Bigger Pockets, but it's really, really big for us because our courthouse it's archaic, and they don't connect to the MLS. They don't connect online at all. And so we discovered this. Daniel Kidd, actually, the same one with the Airbnb. You should talk to him maybe. But he discovered that no one, like it's so much work because you have to physically go there and check the books. And they don't have property addresses. They have numbers. So you have to go to like 3 different places to find this property. It's terrible, but it's great because no one wants to do it because it's so much work. So Dan actually created the system. He like has a checklist that we now just make our interns. So we have so much free labor from this interns. It's so great. And so we have them go and check and pull the list and give us the list of new properties. And then Dan will go around and look at all the properties and add them to our own MLS. So we do deals like that too. That makes sense.
Wow. Found something hard that nobody else wanted to do.
I love it.
That's smart.
People are lazy. I love it.
So, how do you get interns to work for you?
The greatest thing ever. So it's called the Career Skills Program. It's in the Army, and not many people know about it. Actually, I've found that they don't use it that much. But what the Army will do is if their command approves, they will release soldiers 6 months prior to them getting out of the Army, and the Army will continue to pay them full time, and they can work with whatever company they want to. And so I made sure that Five Pillars was logged as a CSP program. Like I put in the legwork to do that. And now we have like 6 interns right now, like 3 more on the way with so much free labor. It's amazing.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I got one under me right now. So yeah,
awesome.
through that same program. Yeah, my brother-in-law. So yeah, you're right. It's a good program.
It's so great.
Thanks.
Okay, and so you have employees too, right?
Yes.
And so how is that? Everybody's afraid to hire people. That's like the number one fear. How do you handle that?
I like, it makes too much sense not to. You can't do it all yourself, and your strengths are not equal to everyone else's strengths. So like what I was talking about before, it's like I stick in my 20%. You guys know the 80-20 principle?
Yep.
Yeah. So I stay in my 20% and my 80 goes to people whose my 80 is their 20. And then the growth is just so much faster. Like, I mean, I didn't get into real estate until, November 2017, almost 2018. And it's 2020 and but like a company and it's not because of me. I'm not great. My people are great. So I'm all about hiring for sure.
So you think as a business owner instead of working in the business?
Yes. So I'm big on air game and ground game as well. So people work in the business so much. A lot of times they forget to work on the business. And so I think it's really important to schedule time. I'm all about time blocking and calendars as well. Reminders on the calendar to take the time to lift yourself out of the business and look at the whole business from a different perspective, because you can get so in the weeds that you're missing something really important. If that makes sense.
Can you break down the 80-20 rule for the listeners?
Sure, yes. So it essentially says that 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. And so if you put all of your efforts into the 20%, the result is just tenfold, as opposed to a lot of people will do the opposite and they will work on tasks that are more easy to knock out, not that important. They get to check something off their little checklist, but that doesn't matter. It's like you have to identify like the priorities and attack the priorities first. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a fact. I love it.
Cool. Yay!
So, oh man. So as far as like sharing and helping others, you were even saying you'll make ways you'll tell people about deals, you'll share this and that, because you're not like you're afraid to share things. You benefit by sharing as much as you know.
No scarcity mindset. That's really big, and that's something on my team as well. Like with my agents and investing, it's like the minute I hear the like, what about me, or that kind of person. No, like team sharing, everyone. Yeah, so that's the thing with employees. Red flags, like crush them. You know what I mean? You can't let it slide.
Oh, nice. And what made you want to be an agent?
I have a question about that. Go ahead.
I didn't really want to be an agent. I just needed a way to increase my active income to fuel my passive. And real estate is amazing as an agent that it is the only job that I know of where you can know nothing and still create like an entire business. Like that's the weird thing about real estate. And actually what I'm learning about life is like no one knows what they're doing. So if you just kind of go in there and figure out what makes sense and say things with confidence, and you can just fake it till you make it for real. That's what I did my first year.
Oh, wow.
So now I have a question.
I'm so honest.
That's great.
I have a question for you, because like the agent thing, do you feel like this helped you on your way on how you are now, where you are now? Do you feel like being an agent's helped you?
Absolutely, but not in the way that most people think. It's not because it's helped me be a great, like an investor, although it has. Like I'm really good at pulling, comps and CMAs and IRVs and all of the things that I'm quick about it, and I'm very confident in my numbers. But I mean more in the fact that I hate that, for me personally, I don't like trading my time for a fixed amount of income. That's one of the things I hated about the Army, is that like I knew I had to wait. Let's wait 2 more years before I get looked up for promotion, even if you're doing a ton of work and you're excelling and all of these things. But with real estate, it's really cool because you can hustle your way into making way more money and then expediting your ability to invest, because it's all about your hustle and your ability to succeed.
That's a fact.
Love it.
That's amazing. May I ask how old you are?
I just turned 30.
Just turned 30. And you have how many doors? 51?
51.
51.
It'll be 52 when we split it. But
wow. How many doors do you want to have? And what's your I guess what's your plan? What's your goals?
That's so funny you ask. I'm having a 30-year-old crisis about it. So I don't really care about, like, I don't have a number of doors that I want to do. I've shifted very much over the past couple of years. Like, I mean, since I started, it was all about financial freedom and income and money. And like, I have to not have to trade my time for money. And now it's like, I have enough. So now it's more of the fact of what fulfills me. What am I passionate about? Where do I get to have creative outlets? That's why another reason why I love Airbnbs is because it turns into like an art project in a way. But yeah, I'm moving to Charlotte and my team is expanding in Charlotte. One of my amazing, Michael Glassy, he's amazing. You should get him on here too. But he is in Charlotte currently and I'm moving there and we're creating another Five Pillars Realty Group there. Excited about that. I'm getting into business with one of my good friends who's a photographer and we're going to go and film real estate conferences. No one in the world knows that yet. So you're the first. And, yeah, and then I'm going to figure out what I want to do that's meaningful and provides value to the world.
Man, I love that. I can't wait to hit that point. Congratulations. That's dope.
And so have you set up your business where you could like easily pass it on to like someone else run it for you like 100% that you don't have to do anything?
You're my real estate company, not my investments?
Oh, yeah, either or, you know.
Yeah, so besides the rehab projects, the rest of my portfolio is either ran by one of the property managers. So that's very hands-off unless there's a problem. But a lot of mine, I mean, I do deals with partners because it's fun. It's more fun to do stuff together with your,
Yeah.
So I mean, like if I got hit by a car, Dan or Mike, who I do a lot of deals with, would pick up the phone. And my real estate company, Five Pillars Realty Group, I actually passed off about a month ago to look because I'm moving. So I'm no longer the one who's running the business, and it's a super strange feeling. But yeah, so yeah, if I got hit by a truck, I'd be okay. Well, I wouldn't.
I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Business
know
would
what
be
I
good.
meant.
So like Five Pillars Realty Group, did you come up with that name?
It's a weird story. It was a group effort. Almost everything that I do is a group effort.
Okay.
And it stands for, so it's NCAP. It's an acronym because the Army, obviously, everything is an acronym. Actually, that's probably not obvious. But NCAP encapsulates what we stand for, and it's education, network, creativity, action, and perseverance. So those are like the 5 pillars to our success.
Cap, I like that.
Me too.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I guess what I was saying, like, because I mean, you feel you reached financial independence already?
Technically, I mean, I don't need almost anything to live. Like, I live in a one bath apartment. I don't care about material things. So yes, sorry, I talk a lot. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
So you're a minimalist.
I am. I don't need things.
That is cool. Do you listen to the Minimalists, by the way?
I don't.
Oh, it's a great podcast, The Minimalists. Yeah, you dig it for real.
Okay.
Because and it's cool because in a way you're attaining more assets. Yet you live a minimalistic lifestyle. It's kind of like a contradiction. It's a good one. So being that, I guess you said you see where you're go more towards what your creativity takes you, I guess, and do things more that stokes the fire. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so that's what I was saying. If your businesses could run like without you totally,
Yeah.
but fill your bank account, of course, and then you can just feel free. You'd be free to do whatever your passions are.
Which I'm trying to explore right now. It's very weird because I'm so hyper focused that it's like super weird not to be in the grind. But I started taking salsa lessons. I'm taking Spanish. I'm doing a philosophy class. I'm doing pottery on Thursday. What is my life? It's so weird. But yeah.
That's living right there, though. That's living. Like, for real. You can take some salsa classes, I love that. You can just live.
And so I heard you explain it on Bigger Pockets too, like how you when you make these systems, these rules, these checklists, you're not making them for yourself. You're making it for someone else to be able to do. So in other words, you're building a business that you could sell that business, right? If you wanted to. Yeah, and that's what the ultimate goal is, to be to be able to build something that you could actually sell.
Right.
And a lot of people don't do that because they remain the bottleneck in the whole business, and there's not a business to sell. You know what I'm saying? Unless they sell themselves, which is, but that's cool how you're designing it like that, even if it does hurt to let go of your babies or whatever. But that's cool. If you found some other passion stuff you wanted to dive into, you have something that's valuable, and you could, boom, here you go. This is the business. This is how much it costs, and then you'd bounce.
Totally.
That's how you're supposed to do it, right, Micah?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm still working on that. I like that. You built this, you can just sell it.
So, Micah,
I don't want to, though. For the record, I don't want to sell.
I feel you.
So when I was talking, texting with Micah, he got excited when I was talking about the whole hiring, the employment process and stuff like that. What kind of stuff did you want to ask her about that, onboarding people and everything?
Oh, I didn't have nothing. No, I had already asked. Remember, because I was like, how many? Did I ask that or you asked it?
One of us did.
Yeah, I thought you did.
Because what I thought was cool how you were able to manage people. You make them take the Myers-Briggs test. Is that what it is?
And the DISC, both of them. The DISC assessment. It's the Tony Robbins one. So we do both. Yeah.
Really? I never thought to do that. I'm going to write that one down. The DISC assessment by Tony Robbins, huh?
And how did you learn to start utilizing those with hiring people and people working together and stuff like that?
Principles by Ray Dalio. So he does baseball cards. We do baseball cards. Everything. I'm not smart. I just read things and then I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. I'm going to do it. But so when people onboard, we have, again, system, checklist, all of that stuff. But one of the things is you have to fill out your baseball card, which has your DISC at the top, your motivators, and your avoids. So motivator, maybe it's recognition, and avoid is maybe small talk, something like that, just so people can get a quick snapshot. And then it has your Myers-Briggs and your DISC on it, and they're just literally right by their workstation. So yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So you have an office space where they work together, or what?
Yeah, for my Five Pillars Realty Group, yeah, we have an office space, but it's super free flow and ridiculous, dartboards, space puzzles, and a kegerator. It's
nice.
great.
I want to work there.
So how many hours a week do you work?
I have no idea.
You don't?
I normally wake up between 4:30 and 5:30, which is why I was this is late. When we started, it was 8:30.
Okay.
And then I do my morning routine, which I've fallen off of kind of recently as I've had this life crisis, but I'm getting back on where, do your silent. So if you guys just read Miracle Morning, it's my favorite book ever.
It's on my list.
It's so good. It changed my life. It really did. Miracle Morning, and then gym or run, whatever I want to do. And then after that, it's jump in and I go full throttle all day. But it's fun for me. It's like a game. It's like a puzzle. So it doesn't feel like work.
That's cool. Win the morning, win the day, something like that.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Yes.
I fell off my morning routine too. I got to get back on it.
It's everything.
Yeah.
So are you a voracious reader?
I wish I was better. I've got a long way to go. I do like reading though, for sure. And my book list is insanely long. I've listened more lately than I have been actually reading, which I want to get back to actually reading because I love to read and have one of my notebooks alongside it so I can write down anything that's really good. And when I was really good about that, I still love to go back and look at those notebooks and just flip through because it's all the key points that were impactful to me about these books that are amazing. So, yes.
I have a question because I always have a question about reading and listening.
Yes.
Which one do you think produces more action out of you, reading something or listening to it?
1,000,000% reading for me because of the notebooks. And not only do I take notes on what's cool, a good, nugget that I never want to leave, but I have another notebook that's my running to-do list. So whenever I'm oh, I should do that, I just jot it down and then I can take that notebook, go to my computer and just execute. It's all about immediately implementing or else you won't do it. You'll never go back.
Fact. I always tell people that's why I love reading because it makes it's immediate action. Like you
Yes.
have to take action on it. That's why I love
Yes.
it. Yeah.
Totally.
Now, do you read mostly real estate or business books?
I have up until this point, and now I'm shifting into other books. But actually, I'm reading, I don't know if this is it's The Infinite Game by Simon Sinek. And it's, I don't know, I guess it's kind of a business book. I guess, yes.
What's it called?
The Infinite Game by Simon Sinek. He was the one who wrote Leaders Eat Last, which is an amazing book. But this one is really cool. And granted, I just kind of started, but it talks about when you are building a company, building a business, how your vision and your cause of the company has to be so big that it carries, well beyond you and well beyond leaders as they leave the organization. It has to be big enough to support infinite progress. If that makes sense. It's cool. It's really cool.
Oh, I love that. And who do you idolize, like, in the business world?
That's a great question. I love David Osborne, which is funny. My name is Shelby Osborne, but we're not related. He's one of the authors of The Miracle Morning Millionaire. And I also like Mike Gosby, actually. He's one of my agents, and we partner on a ton of deals, but I always look to him for, gosh, he just is, he's a machine. He's a freaking machine. So I don't know if that, I don't know. That's all I got.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then right when you were telling me about the, build a business to be where it'd be like infinite, run without you or whatever, I automatically thought of Steve Jobs. That came to my mind,
Yeah.
Because it was his vision and his drive. I mean, he didn't know, he wouldn't know how to program a computer, but that was his, vision and drive, and it just carried on. The company is just humming without him. And so, yeah, that's what I was asking. Like, that's what I was asking. And one more question, like with the books, with the business and the real estate books, because I find myself getting real heavy into that at times, and then I'll get into like a philosophy type phase. You know what I'm saying?
Love it.
And so, are there any books or any like things that you read that have nothing to do with business and real estate that have inspired you big time in being successful?
I love Jordan Peterson recently. I don't know if you guys have listened to him or read. He wrote 12 Rules of Life, and I think it's fantastic.
12 Rules of Life, you said?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I cannot get enough of him. He's great. What else recently? I should look at my bookshelf. I don't know. I've been listening to some really weird stuff lately. Like, Joe Rogan, everyone listens probably.
Oh,
Joe
yeah,
Rogan.
I love Joe.
But like specifically about, I don't know, meaning and different ways of thought. And I don't even know how to say what I'm trying to say, but yes, philosophy, sure.
Okay. You listen to Tim Ferriss too?
No, I should probably.
You don't? Oh, okay. Yeah, you love listening to his show. He gets really philosophical about everything. Of course, he has a lot of friends in the business and tech and all that stuff, but he's like, he's a stoic. He's trying to be a stoic.
Yes, I love stoic reflections on like Instagram. I try to only follow ones that I like that build me up. So stoic reflections is one of them for sure.
Oh, nice. And so, you said plans to be like, do you like, what were you saying, like seminars or type stuff like that, or you wanted to do what was it called? You said earlier in the show, like your future plans and where it's taking you. You want to do like,
well, just stuff that's like meaningful and impactful to people. So I don't know what that looks like yet. Oh, you're talking about conferences, probably.
Conferences, that's what I couldn't think of the word. Yeah.
One of my good friends, Alex Felice, I don't know if you guys know him, but he's in the real estate world too. But he is a photographer and very talented photographer. And my strength is like systems and logistics and figuring out, and his is like creative, let's take pictures. And so our powers combined, we want to go do a couple things. One is go to all of the real estate conferences, or even like FinCon and whatever we can. And he goes and takes pictures, and I'll like plan all of the pieces of it, and then do like blogs and videos of the conferences. And then also another project we want to do is link up with like multifamily big time syndicators who are trying to raise money and help them film pieces of their projects to send to investors to raise private capital.
Oh, nice. And obviously you plan on using TikTok in that, right?
I've never been on TikTok. I don't even
Okay. I'm just telling you now, they dragged me kicking and screaming into Instagram, and I really never got into it big time, and I kind of see what what it could do.
Yeah.
But we had guests on the show last week, and it's a couple. They have a place out it's called Conkin, Texas, by the Rio Frio, like a little east of San Antonio, about an hour and a half. And and they bought this 4-acre, plot of land. They came with 3 tiny homes and 2 log cabins, which were totally destroyed. They had to build them and fix them, and it was like a whole story. But they started doing everything, recording everything on TikTok, and they built it's crazy because it's crazy. They filmed, they refurbished everything, made them beautiful, and they said they do Airbnb obviously and VRBO and direct bookings. That's the thing. And so now they're almost 100% direct bookings, and 70% of the people that book with them, over 70%, come from TikTok.
Dude.
And I'm like, what the hell is TikTok, man? I hated Instagram. And I'm like, already, there's another one now. Anyways, I started in the last couple of days dabbling, and I was like, holy shit, this thing is awesome. You can throw like 10 videos on there, and it groups them together. It edits them for you. It puts music to them, and then it's like, it sounds like something that you could take you like 10 hours to do, and TikTok does it in like 5 seconds. You're like, holy crap, there's so much power in this. And like you said, when we're gonna go to the FinCon, you're gonna go to this and that, and make these videos, throw them on the TikTok, boom, and it promotes them all over the freaking world. It's not like IG. IG will give it to like 10% of whoever's one of your friends and shit. But this thing pumps it out. That's why you see the 100,000 views really quickly and all this stuff. So if you want to explode, and it's like the best kept secret right now. I know it's getting bigger, but to get me on there, and I'm loving it, and I hate freaking social media, it's game changer.
I just wrote it down.
Yeah, TikTok.
I'm gonna do it.
Insane.
Yes,
like to grow your pillars. It'd be you put that on TikTok. It's crazy. Like real estate is huge on TikTok. Like I mean,
is it?
Oh yeah, like you meet lenders on there, agents, investors. Like I'll be like, dang, like mentor. Like real estate's huge on TikTok.
Is this your plan?
Like,
yes, we're the Chinese.
I stopped using it, but it's like when you get on there, but it depends on what you like. Like if you go through it just like a bunch of real estate stuff like I did, I learned so much on TikTok just scrolling through, finding people, wholesalers, anything you want on TikTok. It's crazy.
Damn. Okay, fine. I'll do it.
but I think it's so powerful that you're gonna eventually just throw away the other Facebook, IG, whatever the hell. It's just I think it's gonna be that powerful. But just dabble with it. I think you'll love it, and it's really. I mean, like I said, it's coming from me. I hate social media, but it's too good to. I was like, wow, this is amazing. Yeah. And it's for a creative type. It's for a creative. It's built for a creative person. So if you love the creating, content and stuff like that, you can do it in like 10 seconds, 10 minutes. You don't have to sit there with Windows Movie Maker and start chop, push this. Right. It just makes it so simple. And it's like, where have you been all my freaking life? So there, I can't talk enough about it. I'm a TikToker. I'm a freaking 40-year-old TikToker. Anyways, it's got its hooks in me. Please don't cancel it, Donald Trump. Please don't cancel it. Anyways, what's your favorite part of real estate? What's your worst part of real estate? Because I heard you on the show say you really don't like real estate. I heard you say that on
well, it's not that I don't like real estate. It's that I don't, it could have been anything. So it's a vehicle. Real estate is like a vehicle for meeting goals. It's not like I care so much about houses. It's like I got in here to real estate for financial. I didn't have to trade my time for my money, and that's what I meant by I don't love real estate. You're like, a couple people have mentioned that. So I love what you're able to create. That's my favorite thing about real estate is that like the world is completely yours and you can do whatever you want to build an empire or business or whatever. And like, it's so freeing. It really is. And my least favorite thing is there's so many things I shouldn't say that I just say anyway. My least favorite thing is clients when like I like to make people happy. Like I'm really proud of like our team and amazing. And at the end of the day, like most people are happy, but it's still, I get pissed when there's someone who's like not 100% happy. And so I don't like that.
Be happy, damn it.
Be happy, damn it. Yeah. It's a beautiful world. Be happy.
It's just, I guess you can't please. I mean, some people you just can't please no matter what, right?
Yeah.
They don't even know what they're looking for most of the time, probably.
Yeah.
So do you help them figure out what they want? You know?
Oh my gosh, our screening is very intense. Yeah. Like especially with investors, with regular residential buyers, we're like a lot sweeter, but investors will waste your freaking time. So I don't even talk to them. Gosh, I don't talk to them on the phone. People hit me up, I get their email address, and my whole team does this. They send a questionnaire first, and the questionnaire is pretty like, what's your criteria? How many deals have you done? What are your goals? What's your timeline? Like, what's your financing? Like all these things. And if they don't have their shit together, don't waste it. Like, we'll give you tools. We'll tell you where to go to find the right answers. But like, if they don't know what they want, how am I supposed to help? Like, you're going to run me around and not buy anything. So until you figure your own shit out, don't, you know what I mean?
That's real talk. That's real talk.
Could you find me a decent Airbnb over there for like a decent price? I mean, I don't even know what prices in Fayetteville are, but you'll be moving to Charlotte anyways, right?
I'll be moving to Charlotte. My team's still here though.
Yeah.
And I don't work with clients anymore right now anyway. When leads come in, I send them to my team. But I mean, yeah, the deal. So this is the numbers from the deal that I broke down on BiggerPockets. It's right in front of my face. So we bought it for $52,000 and repairs were $14,000. Furnishing was $8,000, and then all in was it was a little under $80,000, and the ARV is $110,000. So we should be clean on the cash out for that.
Oh, I love those numbers.
Yeah, Fayetteville's awesome, dude. It's great.
Those numbers.
Yeah.
And so you turn it into Airbnb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
It is. That's one of the ones that the rehab's done, and we're undergoing the refi right now.
And so you got two. You said had two arbitrages also. How many?
4.
4 arbitrage. And what got you into the arbitrage game?
Well, opportunity. Just like it. So when you network and you meet people will call you and say, "Hey, I've got this. Anything? Can you do anything with it?" And that's what happened. And the units are downtown studio lofts, and they are gorgeous, like all this exposed brick, like the huge high ceilings, and we're like, these would be dope Airbnbs. And so that's literally how it happened. And we signed 3-year leases at a fixed rate, and then did the furnishing. We did it through Ashley's, which gave us 100% financed for the first 12 months with 0% interest. So then we just used the cash flow to pay off the furniture, and we got it for,
Now this is my question. How did you negotiate that 3-year deal?
Mike Glaspie, amazing, the one in Charlotte.
Oh, we got to get him on.
He's so good, dude. He does subject twos. He can negotiate anyone. So, I mean, I'd give him my out. Like, if he asked me, I'd be like, okay, here you go. He's that good. He really is.
A 3-year deal with oh man, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. And how long have you guys been doing arbitrages?
We got those in, I think it was a year now, like October last year, maybe a little later.
Do you know if COVID hit you guys hard or?
COVID was great. Well, that sounds so bad.
What do you know what you mean?
Our Airbnbs, I mean, they flourished. And I was worried. I was like that in March. I was like, oh no.
Oh, yeah.
But no issue. Our Airbnbs have done very well. So.
Okay, so could you tell me about what the rent is and how much you're making off of them, or like what's your return?
Yes. So on a 3-2, so in our market, a 3-2 will rent for $900 to $1,000, like $950 in there. And that Airbnb for that, I usually, after property management and after like the lawn care, I think since it's the property management takes out, I'll bring in about $2,000. And then from there, I'll still pay my $700 for the mortgage and some utilities. So I'll walk away with about $1,000 from my 3-2. Okay,
so hold on. You said they go for $900 like a night, or?
No. For long term,
okay.
For long term, you're looking at like $900 to $1,000.
Okay.
And I'm showing the comparison.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. And then for Airbnb, after property management, which for that, it's still the local one. So it's like 22 and a half because we negotiated. Then I'll bring in roughly $2,000, sometimes more, sometimes a little less, but on average about $2,000.
Yeah. See, I'm interested in that market because I'm like, if you see my objective list behind me, I'm selling all my rentals in Texas. The taxes are too high. So I'm selling all my rentals in Texas, and I'm going to another location in Arkansas, and I'm getting like the first month, I just finished a BRRRR. We got 2,000 months. I'm like, why the hell am I in Texas? I'm just going to go over there. But it sounds like Fayetteville has what's in Fayetteville? Is it colleges? What's
Fort Bragg. It's the largest military installation. Mm-hmm. And so people will come in for like promotions, retirements, graduations. People will visit their soldiers, deployments, redeployments, like all of those things is the biggest pool. There's also 2 huge VA hospitals. So we get a lot of traveling nurses. And then also it's the direct halfway point between New York and Florida. So people stop. It's right off 95. And
I like that. Yeah, because I've been going near Air Force bases too. Because the ones I'm hopping into, they're near Air Force bases. That is a major plug right there.
Well, it's getting more and more saturated every freaking podcast I go on though.
Oh.
So beware, it's a hard game to get into. You might want to like Mike I think he's investing. I think it's like Wyoming or some state that's like no one
middle of nowhere.
Sorry.
It's the middle of nowhere. Is what it is. But people drive through those places all the time.
Yeah, and he says it's crushing. So what he's doing out there, the numbers are really. I could have gotten that wrong. Maybe it's not Wyoming, but you can just ask him when he's on.
Yeah, send us his info.
Yeah, I just like shamelessly plug my people.
No. We're gonna have the whole Five Pillars crew on here to watch.
So as far as those lofts, what's the rent on those, and what are those making?
Mike knows those numbers better than me, but I think that we're bringing home it's not as good. We're bringing home about 500 per, which is still great. Like I'm fine. I'm happy with it. But like our single family, like our 3-2s do really well in this market.
But it's funny with the arbitrage game because you said like, it's not as good, but like people that do regular long-term rentals, they pray for making $500 cash flow. And then and with arbitrage, you don't have to buy the place. You don't have to do nothing. It's already fixed and ready to go. Something breaks, you call the manager. Hey, come fix this shit. And, it's a brilliant play. I mean, mixed with, rentals to build wealth and stuff too. I think it's a good to have both,
Yes. I love the arbitrage play just for that. It's just straight cash return. Get your cash, and then you can take that and buy rentals if you want to. Hell, it's whatever you want to do. So good play.
But the 3-year lease, that's definitely the way to go. Because you want to get every ounce of money out of that furniture that you can,
Totally.
And after 3 years, it's probably beat up pretty good, I think.
I hope not. I hope not.
That's a good one. The 3-year lease, that's a good move.
So the BRRRB, well, you call it the BRRRB, right? BRRRB, because we had talked about it on this show a while back. I was like, oh snap, she almost stole our thing because we always talk about the BRRRB.
Oh really?
So explain to our listeners real quick what the BRRRB is.
Sure, it's just the typical BRRRR strategy, but instead of a long-term rental, you do a short-term at the back end. But it's the buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat, and just instead of long, short.
And now here's one thing on that, because the banks usually like to see if you have a renter in there. How do you handle that situation?
That's so funny. A couple of people from after BiggerPockets asked me that. So what we do is we establish a long-term lease with another company, and then that company is allowed to sublease.
I like the way you do business. Because I was telling people this in the BRRRR Invest group, and they were calling me crazy. They said I was a scammer. I was like, okay.
Oh, really? Oh, shit. Publish that then.
They got on my ass about that. I made a YouTube video about it. They were like, no, you can't do that. That's a scam. I'm like, it's a scam. You do it with a corporate lease all the time, but
Yeah.
It's 100% legal. But,
YOLO, man.
Oh man. So I mean, we appreciate you hopping on the show. This has been, there's so many different things you're doing, and you're kicking ass on all of them. And I guess the major theme is you're putting the people, really talented people in the right spots to accomplish all this stuff.
I'm so lucky. I have the best people in my life, for real. Love them.
And I have one last question for you. If you had one tip of advice for someone starting out new, wanting to get into real estate, what advice would you give them?
You can't replace the work. So one of my favorite sayings lately is be weary of wisdom that you did not earn. So what I mean by that too is like when you're starting out, you have to read the books. There's no shortcut. Read the books, listen to the podcasts, study, get on the calculators, run numbers, practice. Like if you're gonna be successful, like you have to put in the work that it takes. A lot of people are always looking for a shortcut. There's no shortcut. Work hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sweet. Well, thank you so much for hopping on. This has been like one of my favorite episodes of all time. Where can people find Shelby Osborne? Where can they get in touch with you or follow you and all that stuff?
TikTok starting tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
But for real, Real Estate with Shelby Osborne on Instagram and Facebook, same Real Estate with Shelby. And I mean, you can email me, Shelby Osborne or fivepillarsrealty.com. Fivepillarsrealty.com is a good place too. Whew, that's it.
Is it the number 5 or is you spell it out 5?
Spell it out. Fivepillarsrealty.com.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for hopping on, and yeah, we wish you all the success in the world and taking over the world. You know.
Thank you.
This has been really good because I just got into doing the BRRRR with the Airbnbs, and this is really helpful. So thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a blast.
All right. We'll have fun and keep kicking ass.
Thank you. Bye.
See ya.
All right. That was Shelby Osborne. That was a damn good episode, dog. I was over here taking notes, writing down book names. Yeah, I'm actually in the middle of the refi. I just started my refi yesterday, so I'm ready to hop back in. Man, she gave me some good ideas on hard money. So that was a good episode.
Private money.
Yeah, that too.
Knowing a lot of people that trust her and everything. Just a good reputation. That's the thing, man. Just have that, keep up that reputation, and then the doors will open for you.
That's a fact, man. That's a fact.
And she's just like, yeah.
Tell everybody what you're doing.
Everybody, yeah.
Everybody.
That's cool, man. So you're hopping out of Texas, huh?
Yeah. I'm going to let Texas go, man. Texas is cool. The only thing I'm doing in Texas is arbitrages in my primary home. Other than that, I'm going to let my cash flow over there pay for my lifestyle in Texas. So, yeah, man. I got to let Texas go, dog. I love it. But the property tax, it's like you can make money in Texas. Not a doubt. You can make money here. But I'm like, man, I know on market over here where I'm making 2-3 times, it's no point of, sticking around. Let's just go over here and start making money. So that's how I'm looking at it.
I guess the one thing that always irks you is that your primary, you're not making no money with your primary, but you always wanted to buy something that had like something in the back that you could rent out, right? To cover the mortgage. Yeah,
man. It's funny. And this is one thing I'm going to give y'all a tip on real estate. Stay focused on one thing and stay on that, because I'm going to tell you what happened, because that opportunity presented itself to me. So my boy Jay sent me a listing. It's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, triplex. So I ran the numbers on it. It was, you get a triplex, 3-bed, 3-bath. You move into one unit, and you can rent out each unit by room. Oh. There's a primary bedroom. So if you rent, you'd make $5,000 a month renting by room. $700 per door per private room without a bathroom, and then the ones that had a private bathroom were now out for $1,100. I'm like, dang, man, this looks real good. And I started looking at my objective list. I'm like, I had house hack on there, but then if you notice, I have a new objective list with nothing crossed out because I created a new one. Because I'm like, man, let me just focus in on what I want to do right now, and that's doing these BRRRRs, man. You know what I mean? I was about to hop into that, but I'm like, we just refinanced this house. The payment went down. Not really messed up about it,
Mm-hmm.
And then my assets are paying for my liabilities, my car notes, my student loans. So, yeah, so house hacking is off my list right now. But I mean, once I 1031 exchange this condo, it might come back. But man, the cash flow is too good over there. You know what I'm saying? Like Texas is surrounded by states that can make some money. Like Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, man, you can make some money. So I'm just like, man, it ain't no point of steady buying here, and then
if you're comfortable there, yeah, why not?
You know, and then the cash flow is good in Texas. Just man, when you damn taxes were damn near what $3,000 this year on one property. Man, that's like the taxes for 3 years over where I'm going.
And that's your small property, right? Your condo, right?
Yeah, that's my condo. So I'm about to 1031 that bad boy and hop on out. Yeah, I'm about to go get it fixed up and then hop out. Hopefully get something I can cash flow $2,000 a month because this, you know, my BRRRR that I'm doing, I'm refinancing now, dude. We cash flow like 2 G's on it the first month.
Damn.
And I'm like, man, I'm sitting here. Man, hell no, I'm out of Texas. I'll holler at y'all, man. Yeah, so.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. But how's your arbitrages going? Real quick before we hop out of here.
Well, like I said, the first one's already, like I said, booked for 12 months. It's already set, you know, that's good to go. Yeah. So that's why I started another one. And that one has been booked since day one. So got this weekend booked and then got this week starting Wednesday all the way to the weekend booked. And then now I'm onboarding everything with local estates. So they're going to be handling it from now on. They're getting me on all the sites. And so hopefully, you know, we'll get I'd like to have another long-term with that one. That'd be nice. You know, to me, it's less worry. They say a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. Yeah. So I'd rather, that's how I think. You know, I'd like to get base hits and doubles all day long. I don't have to hit home runs, man.
Straight up.
And I have buddies out there that are trying different, like, get rich things, this and that, and trying to hit home runs every single at bat, man. It's like, God dang, man. If you would have just, 10 years ago, just went for singles and doubles, man, you'd be sitting pretty right now. But you're always moving on to the next. Oh, well, this pyramid scheme's gonna work this time. Like,
that's what I said, man. You gotta stay focused, man. You gotta be focused out here. Like you really gotta find something to hone in on and stay focused on it. Don't let nothing don't let the shiny new object distract you. That's really what it is, man.
And go out there and TikTok.
Yeah, I've been seeing Steve. Steve been TikToking.
Yeah, you made a comment, right? Oh, you're all up on the TikTok now or something like. Yeah, you jumped right in. I didn't realize how freaking easy and user friendly and like creative it was. It's like so cool, man. It's like shit. I want to TikTok everything now, man.
It's a fact, man.
It's addicting, man. And then there's people out there making some cool ass videos on it too. I pull away from it. I don't sit there and do it all freaking day like a lot of guys do, but it's powerful though. It's powerful. You're seeing a lot of eyeballs seeing your shit.
Straight up.
And eyeballs equals money signs.
Yes, sir. That's what it equals.
So, thanks for checking us out and liveletthrive@gmail.com. Hit us up.
Yep. liveletthrive@gmail.com. Follow Mahogany Artists if you want to get your stomach slimmer and you want to get your pockets fatter. Follow Live Let Thrive.
I like that.
So we are out. It was another good episode. Thanks, Shelby, for coming on, and that was a powerful interview. Peace.
Later.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Live Let Thrive. Be sure to tune in next week for all the latest in the world of Airbnb and all that entails. Bye-bye.